The cleanup after Saskatchewan's first major winter storm. Regina is set to have more security on transit buses. And a whole new mobile mammogram is set to hit the road.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Southern Saskatchewan woke up to a winter wonderland today as an Alberta clipper blasted its way through the province overnight. And while the commute to work was the biggest concern for most Regina residents, for others in southwest Saskatchewan, was just trying to get the power back. Jacob Carr has more on the aftermath.
The snowblowers were out in the Queen City on Thursday after a storm system passed through parts of Saskatchewan on Wednesday. The blizzard conditions and powerful winds even left many in rural communities like Climax without power throughout the night.
It can definitely get cold for sure. Luckily, our furnace was on up until about 7, so our house stayed pretty warm. My mother-in-law's place, her power was completely out. That's why we went and got her, because it does get really cold really fast out here.
Thomas said her power was restored when she woke up on Thursday morning at around 6. Sask Power officials told CTV News that in communities like Climax, the high winds, blowing snow, poor visibility, and impassable road conditions forced many workers to wait until morning to make repairs.
The conditions just weren't safe for our crews to work in to get power restored. And so a lot of them had to, stand down and wait until the conditions had improved, which is why we were out around 4 o'clock this morning to start getting to work.
The winter storm also included freezing rain in the south and made highway travel in some areas of the province hazardous. Saskatchewan RCMP received 82 reports of collisions and 25 weather-related reports from late Wednesday afternoon to early Thursday morning. That included a fatal collision near Broadview on Wednesday afternoon.
That collision occurred at the intersection of Highway 1 and Highway 201. It involved 3 semis. The driver of one of those semis was pronounced deceased at the scene. There were injuries. We're working to gather some details.
Grasser went on to say that this is just the beginning of Saskatchewan winter weather and that motorists should be prepared to postpone or cancel plans if travel is not recommended on highways. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
All right, Sabine joins us now for a first look at weather. And it hit areas differently across southern Saskatchewan, but it was a tough one, and there's more snow on the way.
Yeah, just we had that clipper leave Saskatchewan, Lee. We had this Arctic air mass today with some very cold temperatures, and right behind it is another clipper on its way from the west. Already we're starting to see blowing snow advisories for many parts of southern and central Saskatchewan, and there are some snowfall warnings that have already been issued for the Parkland as well. Expecting to see 10 to 15 centimeters of snow overnight, and the blowing snow advisories suggesting that we will be seeing winds gusting up to about 70, 80 kilometers an hour tonight into tomorrow, and then of course adding the snow on top of that, creating some treacherous driving conditions as well. And that for today, like I said, we didn't really have to worry about active weather, and that will change as we head into tonight. I'll talk more about that as we take a look at the forecast coming up. But temperatures today, yeah, they were quite frigid. Southwest still doing okay. -3 is what the current temperatures are like, with the wind chills. -33 in Regina, -31 in Wynyard, -34 in Saskatoon. And again, this is going to change. Those temperatures going back to seasonal tomorrow, but we have that snow on the way. I'll have more coming up in your forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. A 17-year-old youth charged in connection with a quadruple homicide on Carry the Kettle in February appeared in court this morning. The youth, who cannot be named, has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in relation to the deaths of Tracy Hodamani, Sheldon Cuisance, Shauna Fay, and Tracy Jack. The youth has been charged as well with attempted murder of a 5th person involved in the incident. Court has been adjourned for the accused until December the 24th. A 14-year-old youth also made a court appearance in provincial court this morning in connection with a swatting incident. Now, swatting is the practice of making a false report to police, which then results in either the emergency services team or SWAT to be deployed to a specific address. On September 19th, RPS received a call of a firearms-related incident in southwest Regina. The tactical support unit was dispatched only to find out there was no threat as initially reported. Nobody was seriously harmed in the incident. The youth is scheduled to appear back in court January the 14th. The man accused of fatally shooting Tanya Myers on a highway near Weyburn made a quick court appearance today. Chris Fallman is accused of second-degree murder in the case. Myers was shot while riding as a passenger in a moving vehicle on Highway 39 just outside of Weyburn in September. Fallman is scheduled to be back in court next week. A former principal of Legacy Christian Academy learned he will not spend time behind bars after being found guilty of a historical assault earlier this year. Duff Friesen was sentenced to 6 months to be served in a community at Court of King's Bench. He was convicted of 1 count of assault with a weapon, but not 3 others earlier this year. Friesen is accused of hitting students with a wooden paddle between 2003 and 2004 while working at Christian Center Academy. Due to a publication ban, the evidence in a trial could not be reported, but students outside court were pleased the judge imposed a 6-month sentence.
You know, the decision really affirms what former students of this school have said, and the judge's decision, you know, we're really happy that it, you know, has been taken serious by the justice system.
Friesen will be back in court for another trial next September. City budget discussions continue at City Hall for a 4th straight day as council works through what services to keep and what to cut. As Donovan Mace tells us, one thing has been approved for next year, plans to increase security on city buses.
Additional security is coming to Regina City Transit in 2026.
So this is the way that we can make sure that we are not costing people more money and that we are still increasing service.
Councillor Zakiniak bringing forward the plan which aims to bring 8 security guards into the public transit system, to staff to support them, and give bus drivers additional security training.
So if we want to increase ridership, we need to have safe buses.
City administration says the number of incidents on city buses is increasing significantly.
We've seen incidents on the bus increase year over year. We've had over 200 incidents of disruptive behavior on the bus last year, and this year we're at over 400.
But more security comes at a cost. Bus fares will go up 10% next year, and the city will not be hiring additional operators to handle overtime strain, increase the size of its fleet, or expand service.
The number one thing I've heard from advocates and people of all ages and disabilities is that increased hours is what they require.
And after approving a record police budget earlier this week, some councillors are asking why Regina Police can't do the job.
Do we really believe that adding several security officers on our buses infrequently will sort of address the safety risk?
We did the pricing with them, and the pricing was almost double the cost of what we're proposing here today.
Budget deliberations are scheduled to continue Friday. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
After indicating his intention to halt the purchase of electric buses, Councillor Clark Bezo's motion did not make it to the floor today, as the chair, Mayor Chad Bashinsky, saying the motion was out of order because the idea has no bearing on the 2026 or 2027 budget. Now, back in 2024, the city purchased 20 EV buses for its fleet, the first 7 already on the road, another 13 on the way, a program which costs more than $52 million split between the city and federal government.
I don't think I've heard the actual implications, because if that money is canceled and we do receive some receivings on that contract, it would go back right into the 2026 budget. So all we've heard is this hearsay that there could be a penalty. I don't even know what that penalty is.
I can't predict how much that will cost, but it would cost legal fees as well as whatever liability we would be under for breaching the contract, which would be up to the courts, and typically is relatively severe when it's usually often the cost of the contract. So, I mean, we would be paying the contract and not receiving the buses.
The city expects the 13 new EVs to be delivered in the early new year. Regina Police Service members received a 1-day suspension without pay for improperly accessing the RPS database 67 times over a 3-year period. According to a report released by the Saskatchewan Privacy Commissioner, Constable Clinton Duquette accessed the personal information of 6 people between October 2021 to June of 2024. The report goes on to say minimal steps were taken in containing the privacy breach and determined the penalties imposed on the constable were inadequate. RPS Chief Laura Lee Davies says she issued the suspension and says the decision was determined using the Police Act.
I have to rely on sort of case law precedents within the policing community, not just in Regina, but within the country in terms of what are similar punishments. So this was meant, I believe, to send a strong message to our organization and other organizations in the province that this type of conduct won't be condoned.
RPS says they take these types of matters seriously and will review the recommendations in the report. We'll respond to the Office of the Privacy Commissioner within 30 days. Well, still ahead, the Regina Pats head into the Christmas break on a good note after beating one of the top teams in a WHL's Eastern Conference.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
A new mobile mammogram unit is hitting the road in Saskatchewan, bringing breast cancer screening to women in northern and rural communities. CTV's Stacey Hine has more on how it's helping with early detection.
A new mobile mammography unit will soon hit the road, replacing the bus that served communities for more than 20 years. Upgrades include a wheelchair lift and a new mammography, a specialized X-ray that scans for breast cancer, which the Saskatchewan Health Authority says is faster and uses lower doses of radiation.
It's a very modern device, and it's the same as we have at our on-site locations in Saskatoon and Regina and our regional hospitals that we use for screening.
More than $2 million was raised by the Cancer Foundation of Saskatchewan and the Kidsman Foundation to fund the unit, which will help with early detection.
The earlier we can detect cancer, the more treatments available and the better patient outcomes, because there are new treatments coming online for us to use all the time.
The Saskatchewan Cancer Agency says about 75% of breast cancers found through the Breast Check program are detected early. The mobile unit performs about 1/3 of mammograms in the province, screening roughly 7,800 patients in northern and rural communities each year.
I think it's a pretty significant step forward in terms of improving access for Saskatchewan women to screening mammograms right across the province.
Currently, the unit visits 42 communities once every 2 years, but a second mobile unit expected later in 2026 will let communities be screened annually.
When we introduce the second mobile unit, which is super exciting to us, we're almost going to double the capacity.
For now, this unit is scheduled to make its first stop in Estevan on January 5th. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
WHL, Regina Pats climbed back into the win column with an upset win over the Prince Albert Raiders.
Couldn't get through sticks. From a bad angle, finds Lansard. Left side, he shoots! Scores!
Zachary Lansard had a pair of goals for the Pats, who snapped the Raiders' 5-game win streak with a 5-4 victory. Merrick Schlenker picked up first star honors with a 34-save performance in the Pats' net. Regina does not play again until after the Christmas break. Raiders, though, they're going to host Kelowna at home on Friday.
Side, Julian Mays, the former Regina Pat, dance to the middle, shot, scores!
Julian Mays is first as a hitman after being traded by the Pats. The Calgary hitman scored 3 in the second, 4 more in the third. A 9-2 drubbing of Swift Current. Man, it's been bad for the Broncos. They have now lost 12 in a row. The team's longest losing streak was 18 games back in the 2018-19 season. Broncos are also now on their Christmas break. Coming up after our break, more on our first winter storm of the season as the Parkland region gets hit hard with snow. Well, the Parkland region is one of the hardest hit areas from yesterday's Alberta Clipper, covering communities like Yorkton with tons of snow. Plows busy all night. By noon, the major arteries of the city like Broadway, Smith, Gladstone Avenue cleared, but smaller streets still covered. In fact, our very own Regina DeClute might have caught that. Got stuck on 2nd Street getting video of the snowfall aftermath and was helped out by a group of bystanders. A towing company in town did ask people to stay put as they had reached their max capacity. And Sabine, that's just chapter 1 for Yorkton and the Parkland region because they have a snowfall warning tonight.
That's right. Yeah, Lee, they could expect to see another 10 to 15 centimeters of snow with this clipper that's coming through. And it's a clipper that's not going to be slow moving. It's coming through late tonight, Lee, and it's going to continue until about 9-10 in the morning before it's completely cleared out. So expecting to see quite a bit of snowfall in a short amount of time. And then on top of that, we're adding those high wind speeds. Now, there's no wind warnings in effect right now, but we do have blowing snow advisories, and Regina is under that blowing snow advisory. I think we can just tell by the wind over through our sky cam. Currently sitting at -21, wind chill of about -34. Winds are just over 30 kilometers an hour. And as we head into tonight, expecting those wind gusts to pick up. We'll see those winds picking up to about, or gusting to about 50 or 60 this evening, and even higher as we head into the overnight. Could even see them gusting up to 80 by tomorrow as well. And this is what I'm talking about with those blowing snow advisories. So really, all the yellow that we're seeing right now, those are all blowing snow advisories, and then just this white patch, mostly in the parkland again, including the Yorkton area, with those snowfall warnings. Now, what's to come? This is what we've got going on. So for the most part, we're sitting in clear conditions. This system coming in from the west, it's actually connected to that atmospheric river that we've been talking about or hearing about down south. We're seeing in the west coast, there's a lot of flood warnings, a lot of rainfall expected, and this system is actually connected to that atmospheric river, but it's another clipper. So we will still see some precipitation, rain, freezing rain, that's going to linger in the southwest, but mostly it is snow. So first thing in the morning, it does look like we'll see some moderate to heavy snowfall in the Regina area around that time. That system is going to continue making its way eastward, and by 9 a.m., still seeing that system with moderate to heavy snowfall in the parkland. Should clear out from the rest of the southern half of the province, but we're still going to see tail ends of it in the Prince Albert area. Right now, it's saying that the locally Environment Canada is saying that the highest areas will be the northern grain belt and the eastern region. They could see higher amounts of snow, but for the most part, we're expecting to see anywhere between 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, and I'll show you that in just a second. So once that system clears out by Saturday, Sunday, we actually have another Arctic air mass coming through, leaving us with some very frigid temperatures, but clear conditions, a lot of sunshine. So between now into tomorrow at 9 a.m., up to 7 centimeters expected in the Regina area, up to 4 for Moose Jaw, Saskatoon. 3 for Yorkton, but at 9 a.m., we're still seeing that system settling into the parkland. We'll see that continue to go up. So North Battleford close to 20, Prince Albert close to 20, close to or just over 10 for the Yorkton area. And then we could see a few more centimeters come through those areas. So this is something just to keep in mind. Again, I know many people are planning on doing some traveling, especially tomorrow. If you can avoid any non-essential traveling, I would probably wait until we head into the evening or even into Saturday to do that. Make sure you're keeping an eye on the highway hotline. Again, tomorrow, seeing that moderate snowfall and with the high winds, chances are likely we're going to have visibility issues on the highways. But temperatures will slowly get back into that seasonal range. Yorkton -9 tomorrow with snow -10 for Saskatoon. The southwest still looking above seasonal. Above 0 tomorrow, 2 degrees for Maple Creek, 1 for Swift Current and Moose Jaw in the southeast. Seeing the similar temperatures with the snow in Weyburn, 0, 1 for Estevan, 2 for Assiniboia. For Regina tonight, -17, expecting that snow overnight. Winds up to 55 tomorrow. Winds gusting up to 75. And again, like I said, we could see it even a little higher than that. -2 is the expected daytime high. By Saturday, though, like I mentioned earlier, we'll see that Arctic air mass coming through. -21 is our expected high for Saturday. As we head into the weekend, we'll see more sunshine. And then by Monday, we'll start to see those temperatures get back into the seasonal range. Wednesday, we will see the warmest, just a little warmer than seasonal at mainly sunny -6. And by Thursday, we could see some fog coming through the area. -11 is the expected high. So Christmas week, what we're expecting to see, we'll still see those temperatures get a little bit better. But other than that, it's just tomorrow. Just keep an eye on the highway hotline.
Thanks, Sabine. Hindu culture was celebrated yesterday at the Saskatchewan Legislative Building. Members of the local temple set up displays about how Hindus have contributed to society over the centuries. MLAs and their staff were invited to attend the exhibition and meet with members of the Regina Hindu community.
Obviously, there are some beliefs, thoughts, and stereotypes in the society. It's about breaking those stereotypes and making people aware of the true principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is the whole world is one family.
The Hindu faith is one of the world's oldest religions, with roots going back more than 4,000 years.
Studio decorating provided by Urban Farm Girl Boutique and Home Decor.
All right, welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow. So many of these areas that we are expecting to see that snow. Melfort could see heavier snowfall as well, but none of these areas are under those snowfall warnings. That's just parts of the parkland, but expecting to still see 5 to 12 centimeters of snow through those areas. Minus 17 for Hudson Bay, minus 16 for Melfort, minus 12 in snow for Wynyard, and then over in Outlook, minus 3 with a mix of sun and cloud, and minus 6 for Kindersley. Meadow Lake also expecting to see heavier snowfall, minus 18. When we get closer to the southern border, many areas well above average, well above seasonal, and well above zero. Plus 2 for Assiniboia and Maple Creek. East End Cypress, 0, 3 for Rockland, 4 for Cornack, all expecting to see a mix of sun and cloud. Pilot Butte and Lumsden seeing some snowfall throughout the day. Minus 2 is the expected high, minus 13 in snow for Kenora. And then if we take a closer look at Hafford, where internet speeds up to 1 gig available through SaskTel, minus 13 is the expected daytime high, expecting to see snow throughout the day. Also, Hafford is not under any watches or warnings just yet, but make sure you're still keeping an eye on Environment Canada and the Highway Hotline.
Not just me or Regina Mayor Chad Bashinsky that loves a good dad joke, so do the Saskatchewan Rough Rider quarterbacks.
Why was the snowman looking through the carrots? He was picking his nose, Trevor. What did one snowman say to the other snowman? Hit me. I smell carrots. Knock, knock. Who's there? Ho, ho. Ho, ho, who? Your Santa impression needs a little work, buddy. You got me.
So is the segment. Riders posting this on social media yesterday. Harris, of course, signed on for another season. Still waiting to find out what's going to happen with Jake Mayer, though. Now, that's all the time I have. A reminder, there is no news at 6 tonight as CTV is broadcasting nationally the NFL game between the LA Rams and Seattle Seahawks. You can check out our website, ctvnewsregina.ca, or catch Connor Chan at 11:30 for all your local news. Have a good night.